And a warmish, I guess, welcome from Biggin Hill in Kent, near London, Echo Golf, Kilo Bravo. This is where I learnt to fly, actually, at Biggin Hill in 152s, PA28s and 172s and the like. King Air, part of the Cabo group, was based down here before this rather large and fancy hangar was around. Then I had a little guy belonged to a little cub that was just in here. I can't remember their name, but it's a very different environment these days, I think, Biggin Hill. Anyway, today we're going to be flying to somewhere a bit warmer, Cannes, Mandelieu in the south of France. We're going to be taking the Cessna Longitude and MSFS 2020. I've only flown this once, so you're going to have to give me a little bit of latitude because, yeah, hopefully I'll remember what I did right and I'll remember what I did wrong, so I don't do it again. But we'll see how it goes. We're going to take 4 passengers up to flight level 430. We're going to use BATC, Beyond ATC, to keep us company the whole way. We'll see how it goes. So without further ado, let's get the flight plan on the screen. So we've got this rather interesting departure. Forget this sort of dog leg here. Now there's a reason I've done that. It's because we're going to be doing an online flight, and I've given users a choice of flying from Biggin or from Farnborough. And flying from Biggin, you know, I want them to take much the same route, because when we get down to the south of France, some of them have got the option of going to La Mole, which is somewhere in here, I think. In fact, there's STP, so that's Saint-Tropez, so La Mole is just here. And alternatively, Lima Fox, Mike Delta, which is come Mandelieu. So they've got a choice of where to start from and where to end up. We're going to be flying from Biggin to Cannes Mandelieu. So that's the reason there is a dogleg here, just so we can filter both sets of traffic, stream them onto one route. They might fly this and might not. The other idea, of course, is that I can give somebody a direct to in case they start getting bunched together. So that's the reason I add doglegs, because that always happens. They always bunch together like buses. So Biggin Hills today on runway 03. It's all very straightforward. The departure, though, is, well, it's actually more interesting off runway 21, because you've got this immediate right turn, nearly an orbit, to go back overhead the VOR, which is co-located on the airfield itself. So it's a massive, nearly 270 degree turn, and you've got a max speed 185 and a max altitude 2400, and that's because the TMA, the London TMA, that would be for Gatwick and Heathrow and London City, is literally at 2,500. So when we used to train here, we did not go above 2,400 because otherwise you would be getting a call from the CAA. Absolutely. And I guess that was very good training, because that really made us very aware of altitude keeping, because if you went above 2,000, it was you were learning, but your instructor would be hauled in front of the, it was bound form. So yeah, so that's why we at 2,400, and then you go back over the VOR. But anyway, today we're on 03, so it's a right turn after takeoff to intercept the 095 radial to Detling all the way down here, and then you've got a speed constraint up until 2,100, then an altitude constraint of 2,500, and then 4,000 at Detling. So that's all well and good. Okay, and then we're going to fly it to flight level 430, as I said. So let's get inside. Let me see if I can actually... Oh, got some sunshine now. Look at that. Who needs to go to the south of France when you've got sunshine here? This is Payware, by the way. I can't remember who did it. From Orbix. Pilot Plus, I think. And maybe because I trained here, I wanted decent Payware for this airport. The terminal looked very different then. This didn't exist. This didn't exist. It's all very... well, I'm not going to say modern, but I guess it's trying to be. Anyway, let's move inside the aeroplane. So here we are in the cockpit of the Longitude. So what we're going to do, ground power is attached straight away, so we're just going to get battery 1 and 2 on and immediately go to ground power. Then we will get the APU fired up. But what we need to do is look at our fuel. So let's get the sim brief. So sim brief, 2,600 kilos of fuel. We've got 4 passengers. I'm not sure that's 4 passengers or 4 including pilot, but we'll put that in the weight and balance now anyway. So 2,600 fuel. We'll go 2,648. I think that's sensible. Then we got 1, 2, 3, 4. Well, it's got 4 loaded. We don't need to change that really, do we? 4 people, that'll do nicely, thank you. We'll take that. We've got the right fuel on board, so that's all fine. We'll just press B to get the Q and H put in, and it's all the 9s, 9er, 9er, 9er. In our day it was millibars, but today it's hectopascals. You only needed to say millibars if it was under 1,000, because if it was, for instance, 1012, you didn't need to say millibars, but if it was under 1,000, 9er, millibars was the right thing to say. So there we go, that's set. I can see that we've lost a lot of settings on this. For some reason my settings, charts and what have you, don't seem to... Oh, it's just come in. Right, so the terrain clear vision things just worked. Let's have a look at charts. No available charts. Maybe that's working as well. Who knows?
System test. Okay.
Oh, I see. It's still doing warm-ups. Okay, that's fair enough. So, on the Garmin Touch controller, the GTC, go to SimBrief, and we've got. You see, it hasn't kept it. So let's just go to SimBrief. We'll do approve. Then it says you're linked, and then it works. Then next time I fly it, it won't be there. Never mind. So we've done the flight plan in SimBrief. So when you click on SimBrief, you get the list of your flight plan. So we're going to request the uppermost one, which is the current flight plan. Oops. Let's do that again. You do request, and then you do import. Okay, so we've got the runway 03 lid 2 departure. What we need to do is to scroll. So we've got the departure, we've got all the airways, all the waypoints, all the gubbins, but we probably don't have the approach. We've got the star, but not the approach. So the star is the ZATEL 3, sorry, ZAT 3 or ZATE 3 Victor from waypoint ZATEL for 3.5, and we'll put the approach in, and that's the RNAV Yankee for 3.5, and we're going to go from NECIP, and we'll do load. So that means we've got the whole route now installed in one easy or 2 easy clicks, all sorted. Right, so we've got charts showing on the on the screen here. So let's just go back to the home screen and press map, and that way we'll get the map instead. That's what we want. Okay, so let's get the ATIS. Courtesy of Beyond ATC.
Biggin Hill Airport Information Hotel 080 Zulu. Wind 330 at 7. Visibility 10 miles or more. Scattered at 700. Scattered at 1800. Temperature 17. Dew point 15. QNH 0999. VFR conditions. Landing and departing runway 03. Transition level 070. Advise on initial contact. You have information hotel.
Right, hotel 9999. We'll get our clearance.
Golf Foxtrot Alpha Bravo Sierra, ready to pick up IFR clearance to Mandelieu Airport. Golf Foxtrot Alpha Bravo Sierra, Biggin Tower, expect runway 03, LYDD2 departure. Squawk for 331. LYDD2 departure. Squawk for 331. Golf Foxtrot Alpha Bravo Sierra.
Okay, so
Golf Foxtrot Alpha Bravo Sierra, read back correct. Call me back when ready for start or taxi. Wilco, Golf Foxtrot Alpha Bravo Sierra.
okay, so 4331. Click on the squawk here on the transponder 4331, and we'll do enter. So that's the squawk code entered. We're going to run take off from 03. Now this has got a really useful feature. When you press the heading knob, you get what's called sync mode, which is really handy because you don't have to keep adjusting the heading knob to keep it aligned with your present heading or track. When you click it, it goes into sync mode. It tells you here, sync mode, and it does it for you, which is really handy. I like that. But for now, we're just going to dial in 030, which is the runway heading, but we're not even going to use that, but it's just good airmanship to keep things ship shape. 030 on the heading. We've got, let's have a quick review of this. So the departure is a takeoff. We've got an altitude constraint of 2,100 and a speed of 185. Then we've got an altitude constraint of 2,500. So that's going to be our limiting one. Okay. So we dial in 2,500. That was a bit fast. And to get the hundreds, you press the button. And now I can go to 2,500. There we go. And press it again, and it'll go back to thousands. So toggle thousands and hundreds by pressing the altitude button. Okay, and we're also going to sync the heading knob. In fact, I shouldn't have done that really, because of course now it's gone straight to 03, but it doesn't matter because it's in sync mode, so it will align itself. Okay, and then we want speeds. Now, speeds are quite interesting in this. It's got an auto throttle, and I'll just show you the binding to that. So on my Honeycomb Bravo, I've got power management. I don't know if it's here. I think it'll actually be under autopilot. Autopilot. There we go. So arm auto throttle. Okay. So if I just click it on my Honeycomb, you'll see that it's arm auto throttle. Okay. So with that in mind, let's just go back to the airplane and I'll show you what that does. So there's nothing shown on the flight management. What's that? Lost a caution. Speed brake. Auto stow. Are they extended? For some reason they're not closing properly at the moment. I need to work on that. So on the annunciator panel, there's no autopilot modes shown. Okay, so if I press the auto throttle, no, I need to get the what do I need to get? Flight director, is it? Yeah, flight director. When you click the flight director, you go into roll mode and pitch. Okay, and altitude select, which is 2,500. We want to go to nav, which is there. So we've got FMS, which is now what the aircraft will follow, which is the lid to departure. And if I press the auto throttle button now, yeah, I'm not quite sure why that's not coming on. Maybe the engines need to be on. We'll try it with the engines. As I said, I haven't flown this aircraft. We also need some V speeds, because these would be I'm not sure whether these are accurate because they look very high, and I don't think that is an appropriate value. 128, 130, 142. That's much more like an Airbus, and this is a lot smaller. So I don't know if there are any charts for those. So without charts, we just need to run with those. I've got some rudimentary landing speeds which we will use at the other end. So for the moment we'll just run with what we've got, and I'll just switch on the landing speeds. So that's the V speeds that you get on this touchscreen controller under speed bugs. Okay, so we can ask for startup, so let's do startup only. Thank you.
Golf Foxtrot Alpha Bravo Sierra at ramp November 8 request startup.
Golf Foxtrot Alpha Bravo Sierra, startup approved. Call when ready for taxi.
Affirm, startup approved. Golf Foxtrot Alpha Bravo Sierra.
Right, so we'll get the emergency lights armed. In fact, I just need to have a look because I can't quite remember if it's armed is all the way up. Passenger safety signs. We want the anti-collision light because we're going to be starting up. We can't start up until we've got the APU running, so we'll get the APU running quite quick in this. So we'll get it, click it across to start, and then it goes back on its own to the middle position. There we go. And once we've got the APU online, we can then switch off the external power. We've got a standby instrument here, and to switch that on, you need to press this switch here, standby power. That goes fully up, and then that comes on. So have we got the APU running? APU, where's the APU generator? APU generator is on. I think the APU is already running, so we can get rid of the ground power. And so we've got now start clearance. So we'll switch on number 2 and then number 1. So in order to get the engines running on this, you just you have to open this flap, switch on the button, and then press the start. Everything else is automatic. So you can see it winding up. You'll hear fuel coming in. There we go. And then you'll see the EGT rising and the fan turning. Okay, so that's number 2 sorted. And we'll get number 1. So we have to open the flap, switch the, I'm not sure what that is, switching on the engine, switching on the ignition, something anyway, and then we switch the starter on. There we go. So starter is winding itself up, fueling, turning, burning and oiling, that's what we're looking for. So there we go, EGT, big fan and oil pressure, and we're good on number 1 as well. That's a good start. Okay, good start on 1 and 2. The bus tie automatically opens, so we can switch off the APU. That's sorted. Okay, we want 1 stage of flap, so we'll do that now. 1 stage of flap. We want to set the trim. I'm not quite sure what to set it on, so I just bring you can see there's a green range here, and I just bring the indicator down so it's in the green range. There we go. Without having other references, I really don't know how else to set that. Speed brake auto stow, not sure what that means. Does it mean that, yeah, it's not quite closed, is it? It's funny, my honeycomb's doing this now, not just on this aircraft. It's not quite closing for all. You see, it's a bit odd. I'm going to try and adjust that because it's really not working very well. So Bravo throttle quadrant, sensitivity, that's the, right, so dead zone, extremity dead zone. Let's go like that. Do done, apply, save, resume. Let's see what it does now. No, you see, it's really struggling. Let's see if we can get that a bit better. Put it all back to zero. Sensitivity to 0. It's really struggling. For some reason it just, if I close it on my throttle quadrant, it seems to open it. No, that's no good, is it? We don't want that deploying in flight, do we? So I don't know how to fix that. Sensitivity, dead zone. Does that work? Let's just see what that does. Does that work? Done something. Okay, I'll leave it there. Happy with that. It's a result. So we've got right. So when I go into the menu on mine, the flaps always retract. So I just need to be aware of that. So flaps 1 coming down. So let's get taxi to the runway.
Golf Foxtrot Alpha Bravo Sierra, ready to taxi to the active.
And
Golf Foxtrot Alpha Bravo Sierra, runway 03 taxi via hotel.
Runway 03 taxi via hotel. Golf Foxtrot Alpha Bravo Sierra.
okay, so if I press the auto throttle arm, you'll see it comes up on the annunciator panel, and then all you need to do is to advance the throttles and that will engage. So we've got taxi clearance. I'm not going to blind this poor chappie here, even though he's not even looking at me. I think that's rude of him, really. So I'm going to blind him. So there we go. That serves you right, matey. Not even looking at the airplane you're in charge of. Right, so brakes are on, parking brake is off, release my brakes. This has got a steering tiller down there. We'll try not to scythe him in half. Oh, well, he'll be rescued, but the other chap won't be. What can I say? Okay. Look to our left. Very good. I'll follow the yellow brick road. What is that CAS message that keeps appearing? If you've ever wondered where the turn and slip indicator is on the glass panel, I will show you now. I'm going to turn right shortly with my tiller, and you'll see the ball is this line here. Obviously not a ball, but it takes the place of the ball. So I'm going to turn left a bit now. It should go to the, whoops, that's my scenery. Oh, come on. Of course, why not? So I turn left, so the ball or the line went to the right. If I turn right, the ball will go left. There you go, see? So that's the little line there. That's your ball and slip. Okay, so we're just coming up now to the holding point. I'll just go back to, this thing is very powerful. Got 7,000 pounds of thrust times 2, so it's a very, very capable jet. I'd say I quite enjoyed it. So got one more thing to do, and that is to set the speeds. Okay, now we've done the V speed, but what we need to do is to set our departure speed, because it's 185 on the speed. So we're going to go, there's a button here on the speed knob that changes it from FMS, which you adjust through the VNAV page here. There's climb, cruise, descent, or you click it and it changes it to manual, in which case it just takes whatever you dial in. So at the moment we're dialed into 140, which is appropriate for our V2 speed, and there we will leave it, except we're not going to, because this thing climbs like a rocket, and at 140 at full takeoff thrust we're going to get to 2,500, and it probably won't be able to stop itself climbing and braking that. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to just change that to 185, which is the max
All
speed.
aircraft be advised, information India now current, QN809999.
At 185, which is the max speed for this procedure until 2,100 feet. So 999 we've got, so we'll just ask for departure.
Golf Foxtrot Alpha Bravo Sierra, holding short, runway 03.
And then we need flight level change.
Golf Foxtrot Alpha Bravo Sierra, Biggin Tower, wind 350 at 7, runway 03, cleared for takeoff.
Okay.
Runway 03 cleared for takeoff. Golf Foxtrot Alpha Bravo
Not
Sierra.
quite sure where the strobes are. Let me have a quick look. Wing inspection lights. Maybe they're automatic. So we'll just remember that. So we've got takeoff clearance. So we'll just do a quick recce to our right, just to check. I've flown into. Well, I've used both runways here at Biggin. There's a 2911. I think it's not used anymore.
03.
Which is pretty much ahead of us here. And of course 03 and 21.
On runway
So we're just going to come to a
03.
stop. We're going to go to our touchscreen controller, go to timers, and we're going to press start just so we get a flight timer running. Okay, so auto throttle is armed. We've got flight level change. We've got FMS for the route. That's all set. Press sync on the heading bug, which has gone into sync mode, which is what we want. So we're good. Let's go for it. So throttle's coming up, and you'll see the auto throttle arm in an instant. There we go. It's on throttle hold. Auto throttle's gone green. Oh gosh, that was a bit of a bump, wasn't it? Wow. Okay. Holding the nose down a bit. This thing is like a rocket. So let's have a look. V1, rotate. Okay, and we'll just follow that magenta. Flaps coming up straight away. And we're just going to try and keep up with the aeroplane, but it's a bit sensitive for me. So we'll just go with the autopilot, which is where's the autopilot master? I can't see the autopilot master.
Contact Biggin
Autopilot,
departure
there we go.
129.05, Golf Foxtrot Alpha Bravo Sierra.
Not quite sure.
Biggin,
I've got it on
Golf
my
Foxtrot
yoke,
Alpha
the
Bravo
autopilot
Sierra,
master. So
2,600 feet.
I need to change the speed. It's for some reason gone to 82 knots.
Golf Foxtrot Alpha Bravo Sierra, Biggin departure, good morning, identified, climb to flight level 190.
We're not going to do that. We're going to follow the procedure.
Climb to flight level 190, Golf Foxtrot Alpha Bravo Sierra.
Okay, so we're at 185. We've gone past 2,100, so we can now speed up to 240 on the speed. So what we're going to do, going to go to FMS mode. Okay, which is on 185. I think it's reading that from the flight plan here. So we'll stick with that, but we could speed up by going manual and going to 250 on the speed. There we go. Just check that we are allowed to do that. Yeah, we can. Okay, so 250 on the speed. 250. And you can see the aircraft accelerating very happily. So at 2,500. And we need to get to Detling, which is this point here, which is 9 miles from Detling, beneath 2,500, at or below, and then we can climb to 4,000. So that's our next altitude. Okay, so things happen very quickly in this aircraft. So things to watch out for when you go to. It seems to drop the speed from 185, which I dialed in, to 80. I don't know why. And also I put my flaps up very, very quickly because this thing just rocketed through the flap retraction speed. It's got an abundance of power, this. So let's have a look. Taxi light can come off, and I think we're all good. So we're just coming up to Detling, where we can start climbing to 4,000. So at the moment we're on manual speed. If we went to VNAV speed, the climb, it's got a cruise climb of 270, and you can change this. So you click on that, oops, sorry, click on it, and you can do either maximum rate, cruise climb, or high speed climb, or you can define your own. And if you define your own, it wants you to put in your speed and your Mach number. Okay, so that's where it gets the speeds for your FMS speeds here. But we're on manual, just taking the speeds from what I've indicated on the speed tape. So I think we've just, are we going? Yeah, we've just gone past that point, so we can go up to 4,000. 4,000. Watch how quickly it does this. Press flight level change, and you'll see the engines will spool up, and the aircraft will climb at stupid rates. Look at this, and it'll need to. There you go, 6,000 feet per minute. That's nuts. And when we get past Detling, I think it's just nuts, isn't it? I mean, it's quite nice, really. So 4,000 feet. The transition altitude, they said, was 7,000, so we can't change to standard. But if we did, it's here, barrow knob. The speed is just coming back to 250. Just remind ourselves of the plate. Just coming up to Detling. Okay, Detling, that point there, Detling 4 miles, 4,000, so we can now climb. And we got clearance to 19,000, so let's do that now. So I'm going to press the heading knob, because that changes me from hundreds to thousands, and I can just quickly dial in 19,000, flight level 190 I should say, 190, and press flight level change. Okay, and the engines will spool up. It's in climb mode, and see, it just can't keep up with itself. Look, the speed just builds. 6,000, 7,000 feet per minute. I mean, just, yeah, that's just crazy, really. I'm sure it doesn't do that in the real airplane, because that's just. Anyway, you can see the heading knob, the heading bug, sinking, auto sync mode. See, sinking. You don't have to keep pressing it. 7,300 feet per minute. My goodness me. When we get to 10,000, we're going to speed up and we'll start climbing at a more sensible rate. I'm not sure what the climb rates are, but what we can do is we can look at that here. So climb schedule is cruise climb. We'll do a cruise climb. Cruise climb's 270. Okay, so we can now change it from manual to FMS, and then it will pick up the speed that's dialed in to here. Okay, so it's just going to accelerate to 270. It'll still give a ludicrously high climb rate. And we're above 10,000, so we can get rid of our landing lights. And we can switch off the safety belts. Okay, so there we go. We're 5,000 to go before we get flight level 190. We've got traffic on the second GTC, and I'll show you how to change these in a second.
Golf Foxtrot Alpha Bravo Sierra. Contact London Control 118.475. Have a good morning.
Centre on 118.475. Golf Foxtrot Alpha Bravo Sierra. London Control, Golf Foxtrot Alpha Bravo Sierra, through flight level 176 for flight level 190 direct LYDD.
Golf Foxtrot Alpha Bravo Sierra, London Control, radar contact, climb to flight level 430.
Climb to flight level 430, Golf Foxtrot Alpha Bravo Sierra.
430 set and checked. Go to flight level change. Flight level change basically is airspeed mode. Now, you know, in turboprops you've got IAS mode. It's the same, pretty much the same mode. Flight level change. It climbs at the dialed in airspeed. So here we go. And this is just like a rocket. It's silly, really. So 10 minutes. We're going. Well, we've had to wait for ATC, so we won't look how quickly, but I think I got to flight level 410 yesterday in 15 minutes, which is silly, really. So we're all good. It's more sensible, 4,000 feet per minute. Okay. Let's have a quick look outside.
Juliet Zulu. Contact Amsterdam radar 119.175. Bye-bye.
Nice livery, this is from flightsim.to.
Contact Amsterdam radar 119.175. Flyer 76 Juliet Zulu. Bye-bye.
Okay.
Chanix 71 Yankee Foxtrot. Contact breast control 120.15.
A few things in this I don't really like. It's got a HUD, doesn't work. The EFIS panel here, only the well, this knob here, you can move charts and things around, but it's really only the barrow that you use on the CFIS panel.
Golf Foxtrot Alpha Bravo Sierra. Contact Paris Control 119.825. Bye-bye.
Contact Paris Control 119.825, Golf Foxtrot Alpha Bravo Sierra. Paris Control, Golf Foxtrot Alpha Bravo Sierra, climbing flight level for 23 for flight level 430 direct fuel.
Golf Foxtrot Alpha Bravo Sierra, Paris Control, radar contact. Climb to flight level 2 0.
Wilco, climb to flight level 290. Top Swiss 57 Victor Juliet.
Okay, so we're still in the sim. We're running at 4 times speed, and if you go to the VNAV page, which you get to from the flight plan, then VNAV. It tells you what your top of descent is, and we are 14 minutes away from our top of descent. So it's a good time to have a quick look at the Navigraph charts for the arrival. So it's got a lot of constraints. So for XATEL is below flight level 310, then Tupov below 250, then Rubeb at 200, and then we've got Uglet at 120, and finally Luke at or above 070. So yeah, that's quite involved. And we've got speed constraints, max 280, max 250. Then we've got the approach, which is in two parts. First part is from Nekip, takes you all the way to Abata. So that's I think 7,000 will be out, and then descending slowly to 2,000. Interestingly, we go right near La Mole, which is the other option of this flight. And then the final part of the approach is from Abata, which is straight in to runway 35. And therein lies the story, because at the moment you can see that 35 has got a bit of a tailwind. So it should be a break to the right, go downwind, and then come into land on 17. And we will try to do that depending on what the wind is. 6 knots, not very long runway. It is 1,1600 meters. Okay, and it's quite a fast jet. So, not sure whether we will try to land on 35 with that amount of tailwind and the speeds that this aircraft does. So we'll probably brake right and go downwind, then base, and then finals. Okay, so let's get this one back on here. So our top of descent is coming up. We're just going to switch the sim rate to 2 times. So we've got 5 minutes now to our top of descent. And what we'll do, we'll just call ATC Marseille Control
Alpha Bravo Sierra,
for
ready for
descent.
Golf Foxtrot Alpha Bravo Sierra, XATEL 3 Victor, runway 17, descend to flight level 2 Mini 0.
XATEL 3 Victor, runway 17, descend to flight level 290, Golf Foxtrot Alpha Bravo Sierra.
So it is 17, so we will have to do the visual circuit, but that's okay. And we've got clearance now to 290. Not sure why 290, because it doesn't actually match any of the approach, any of the star waypoints. We've got 310 at XATEL and 250 at Tupox, and that is at or below, and that is at or below as well. So anyway, 290 is what we've got. So what we need to do is to dial that in. So we just wind this down to 290. We'll just reset that. We're now at normal sim rate. 290 we've got. We go to VNAV. That's armed. And as we get closer, we're 3 minutes away, so you should see a TOD. And I've worked out about the touchscreen controllers. Even though you Google it, you do get wrong answers anyway. Touchscreen controllers, if you want to operate the left split screen, you use the left touchscreen controller. If you want to operate the right split screen, you operate the right touchscreen controller. So for instance, if we wanted to get a chart on there, we do chart, and there's the chart that we've looked at. And if you press the middle button, no, the left button, yeah, you see you've actually got a mouse pad, so you can actually move and zoom in. Somehow you can zoom in. Yeah, not that I know how. So I'm not going to worry about it. It's there anyway if you want it. But you can probably, yeah, you can zoom in by using the wheel. There we go. Quite handy, really. So if you want to put a weather radar there, you can. So go here, click on weather, and then you have to switch on the weather radar or TCAS or what have you. Okay, so we've got now 1 minute 50, and we'll be using the descent profile, which is 270 pilot defined descent. So when you first get into the Longitude, if you've not used it before, then these climb and cruise speeds and rates might not be correctly set. When I first flew it, I had a climb rate of 135 knots or something, and the thing was like a Saturn V rocket. So I did change them. You just click on them and do pilot defined, and you put your own values in. I think you only need to do that once. Who knows? So let's have a look. Top of descent is there. And we are now just, let's go back to flight plan, back to VNAV, and 40 seconds. Okay, you'll see, in fact there it is, you've got the VNAV profile. Okay, and when that gets to the middle, that little chevron there, it gets to the middle of the aircraft to start to descend. Now bear in mind that, I'll just bring this on screen quickly, that this 200 to 12, so 120 in the space of about 16-17 miles is not really achievable unless you really slow down. Okay, so with that in mind, we might need to go to vertical speed mode and just use the wheel here to adjust our speed, because the VNAV might not keep up with it. That's a lot of, that's 8,000 feet in 17 nautical miles in a high-speed jet. Well, that's just not going to happen really. So it's descending now, and I think it's just slowing down to the descent Mach number of 0.75, which is, again, if you remember here, 0.75. That's the value I put in, I think. 270.75. You can always go manual. Switch it here from FMS to manual, and then you can just adjust the speed as you wish. And we'll probably do that later. Okay, so we don't have the V speeds for takeoff, but I've got some rudimentary V speeds for the approach. Let me just grab them now. I've got to remember I put them. Just Cessna Citation wrong, spelt wrong. Let's do that again. There we go. Longitude, thank you. And I'll just open this up. Don't think this is accurate, but on the other hand, it's all we've got. So we'll be landing with 27,000 pounds. In fact, between 25 and 27. Okay, so we can use the higher 123,112. If you want to know how to get that, you go to your weight and balance, and at the bottom here it tells you what your current weight is. Okay, and that is in kilos, so you just need to convert it from kilos to pounds, and Bob's your uncle. So we're between 25 and 27. So I can't remember what I said now. We want 23 and 12. So go to here, go to speed bugs, landing. We're going to click on here. So 1, 2, 3, and here 1, 1, 2. That's our approach speed. That's our landing speed. So we'll come in at 123. We'll do the circuit at 123, and then as we turn base and finals, we'll slow down to 112. So we're on profile. You can see the chevron here is right in the middle. That's all good. Oh, interesting clouds, look at that. Like flak. I think they're just disappearing. It's redrawing the weather, I think. I'm using active sky. So Mandelieu, let's have a quick review of this. The final approach is, so it starts at 2000. We got a minimum of 980. And the runway we said was 1500 meters. I've got to check that, sorry, I can't remember. Yeah, 1500 meters. 1550 pretty much. And after landing we exit to the right. This thing has got reversers. They're the old buckets at the back of the engine nacelles.
With Malta 7 Mike Kilo, contact Marseille Control 120.85.
Contact Marseille Control 120.85 with Malta 7 Mike Kilo.
So we've got the weather, so the wind is increasing. It's going to, because it's a coastal airport. So as the land heats up, the air rises, and that draws in air from the over the water, which is cooler. So it's an onshore breeze, I think they call it. So if we click on this, we get the weather. So it's 160 at 7 knots, and KOTAP, and 27 temperature, 20 for the dew point, 1007. We pre-select that, so 1007.
Descend to flight level 220, Golf Foxtrot Alpha Bravo Sierra.
So 220 we've got clearance to. 220 and 1007. Just using the wheel on the. There we go. Just.
Marseille Control, Air France 74 November Romeo.
1007 as a preset, which means that when we go from standard to current pressure, it will pick up the 1007, which is the current QNH. So let's have a quick look at the chart. So we are presently. Are we still off the map? Yeah. What's coming up here? This is. Yeah, so we're just coming into the map now. Okay. Let's zoom in on that. So we're just past XATEL, which is below flight level 310, and then 2 POS, which is 250, which we're going to make. Got quite a hefty crosswind. It's from our right, so from right to left, 70 knots. You need to switch on the wind indicator. You do that through here, and you go to PFD settings, and then you've got wind, and I've gone for option 2, which is a standard wind vector, an arrow and a speed. Back to timer, and we've got 1 hour 12 minutes. That's how long it's taken us. It's a very, very fast jet. I know we've done most of the flight in high speed.
Golf Foxtrot Alpha Bravo Sierra, descend to flight level 200.
200. Okay, flight level 200.
Descend to flight level 200, Golf Foxtrot Alpha Bravo
200
Sierra.
set and checked.
Air France 74 November
So the aircraft is now slowing down to 235 on the speed, and we are, let's have a look, we are here, so 280, so we don't need to go that slowly, so I'm going to go manual now on the speed. We're going to go 270, so we're going to click this knob here, go from MSFS to manual, and we're going to dial in 270. We don't need to go to 35, that's just too slow. There we go. 270 set. Now, it probably did 235 for a reason, because that descent here between 200 and 120, yeah, if we do it at 270, it's just not going to make it. We will try though. We will try. If you slow down, you've got an outside chance of making it, of course, because you're not covering the ground so quickly. And if you continue down at a reasonable vertical speed, you should make that. So 200. Are there any clouds? No clouds. Lovely day. Using the touchscreen controller mouse pad interface. So speed, max speed 280, we're on 270, we're good. So I think we're alright at the moment. And we should get clearance any second to go down to 120.
Alpha
120 set.
Descend to flight level 120.
Flight level change.
Foxtrot Alpha Bravo Sierra.
Got to watch it, because if it levels off, then the flight level change mode comes off, and you'll just fly level for a bit. The clearance they gave me was just a little bit late, and I dialed in 120, but it had already leveled off at 200. So I don't think we're going to make that waypoint there at 120. Maybe we will. And the speed there is 250. So not only have we got to make an altitude constraint, we've actually got to slow down as well. .250, flight level 120. So we'll see what happens. Don't forget we've got spoilers. Bit reluctant to use them though, because it seemed a bit odd. Let's see what happens. Yeah, so we'll easily make 120, I think. Okay, 8 miles to lose 4,000, and to slow down. Maybe we won't do the slowing down bit, but we can try. So let's go down to 250 on the speed. Okay, and we'll just pull the lever out a little bit. Down to 250. The reason it's still accelerating is because of the high rate of descent in order to make the constraint. But I'm okay with 5 knots. Shouldn't be, but I'm okay. Okay. So there we got the coast ahead of us. That's Saint-Tropez there, I think. So we're going to make that constraint. Then we got flight level 070 at Luke. Okay, so we will go.
Turn left, heading 035, Ryanair 680 Yankee Yankee.
We've made it. Well, I'm impressed with that. I really am. Because we're levelling out before, going to lose those 3 or 4 knots. So we're good. We're good. So now
flight level 080, Golf Foxtrot Alpha Bravo Sierra.
Now we've got clearance to 080. Now we're still on. So I've dialed in at 080, and we've got quite a long stretch now before we've actually got to be at 080. In fact, it's actually written 070 or above, but of course 080 is above 070, so that's fine. And we're still on V out, which is VNAV, so the aircraft will descend in its own time. Okay, so just make sure it's still got V there, which means that VNAV is still in operation. Occasionally you might be on VNAV and it just can't keep up with the descent or the climbs, and it'll still say VNAV, but it won't be able to reach the constraint. So then you might need to go to V speed, vertical speed, up or down, and if you do that and you catch up with the vertical profile, the chevron, VNAV will take over again. Okay, so you can still use vertical speed in conjunction with VNAV to catch up the VNAV profile, and you'll see the chevron. It'll be above or below you, and you'll just start to get to the middle. When it gets to the middle, it takes it back over, which is quite handy. Handy little feature. And I think we're good. So we've got quite a hefty crosswind. You can see that because of the flight path vector. So we're actually heading way off here to that direction. Okay, that's our track. But our heading is much further to the west or to the right, because the wind is coming from over there. So we're heading that way to fly that way, because it's 41 knots.
Flight level 120 with the numbers.
Golf Foxtrot Alpha Bravo Sierra Nice approach. QNH1 007 expect the AirNav Alpha runway 00 with liquid transition.
QNH1007 expect the AirNav Alpha runway 00 with the naked transition. Golf Foxtrot Alpha Bravo Sierra.
Yeah. Let me just go back to the VNAV. It's saying, well, you see, this is one of those examples. I think we've got to catch up with it, because it's telling me that oh no, here it goes. Here it goes. There we go. So that chevron should start coming down now, and when it gets to the middle, it'll start descending. Except now we are just approaching Luke, okay, which is at or above 070, and we've not been cleared on the RNAV yet. So there it goes. There goes the chevron. So it'll start to descend towards 080.
Golf Foxtrot Alpha Bravo Sierra. Descend to 6,000 feet. QNH
6,000 feet we've got now. 6,000.
Descend to 6,000 feet. QNH 1007.
So there is Saint-Tropez, that's Port Grimaud. In there is La Mole, which is one of my very favourite approaches.
Direct l'équipe. Cross l'équipe or above 6,000 feet. Clear the AirNav Alpha runway 00.
Okay, so we're now cleared on the RNAV. So it's NECIP. So let me just bring that up. So NECIP, flight level 060, and then down to about 2,000. Okay. Are there any speed constraints? Let me just check. No. That's a hold, but we're not worried about that one. Initial approach fix. It says max 220. I'm pretty sure that's for the hold there. So I think we're good. There we go, Port Grimaud. Let's see if we can see La Mole. La Mole. It's in there, I think. Oh, it's absolutely lovely. This neck of the woods. Right, there's the dam. There's, sorry, reservoir, and that's the dam. And you pass that on your downwind. So La Mole, there it is. Just in there. Just see the runway there. So it's surrounded by hills. And the only way in and out of 24 is through this bit here. And if you're flying into 06, it's a very wobbly circuit near that dam. And then it's a very sort of curved finals to land on 06. It's lovely. There's one instrument approach, which you can do. Right then, so are we descending? We are. Okay, and we're cleared on the RNAV. We've gone past Nekip, so we can now go down to 2000. 2000 set and checked. The transition altitude here is, oh, it's, yeah, it'll be on the approach. 5,000. So 5,000. I'll tell you what we should do. We should strap them in. Landing lights. That should have happened a long time ago. Too busy talking, not paying attention. So beautiful, this button. I used to live down here. So 6,000 feet, we can switch to local pressure. We're just going right above Port Grimaud there. It's like a little Venice. There it is. Okay, lots of very expensive houses, each with its own little mooring for your expensive yacht. Should see the where is it? There it is. There's Le Mans, just in there. And Baboo Airlines used to fly Q400s from Geneva, scheduled flights from Geneva. Okay, so that's Cannes in there. That's the Bay du Cannes, and the airport is just behind this hill here. So we're just ascending now to 2000. When we get past flight level 050, we can go to local QNH, and we will slow down as well. I'm just going to switch this back onto traffic because it's not really helping me that. I'll just bring in the charts. I'm just going to go click that button there, I think, to go to the normal GTC and go back to traffic. We don't need weather radar. Traffic is much more useful to us, but we'll just zoom in a bit. There we go. So we're going to do a circuit. Break off at 1,000 feet from the RNAV approach. We're below flight 5,000 feet, so we can go to normal QNH 1007. And the chevron's just coming back down to the middle, and we're going to slow down now. We're going to go down to 180. And we're already within flat limiting speed. 180 we've got set. So we go flap 1. There we go. Flap 1. And now we can do flap 2, there's your flat limiting speeds written there. Flap 2. And that will really help us slow down. slow right down now to 160 on the speed. Oh, I've been 150. Overshot 160. There we go. And just coming in for the approach. Arm the approach. Just levelling off at 2000. So where are we? There we go. And the airport is just there. You probably can't make it out. Just a couple more hills in front of it here. So very good VNAV in this, I have to say. Easily controllable between FMS and manual, but yeah, it seems to work really, really well. So very impressed. Actually, I've not flown the Longitude, and I'm a bit sorry now that I haven't been flying the Longitude because it's very capable. So we're just coming up to Abata, so we're going to turn onto our final approach course. Okay. And if you remember our V speeds, we'll just remind ourselves of them. Speed bags 123, 112. Okay.
Over to Tower 120.78, Golf Foxtrot Alpha Bravo Sierra.
I can't promise to do a really perfect
Foxtrot Alpha Bravo Sierra. RNAV Alpha Runway 00.
circuit. I'll do my best.
Golf Foxtrot Alpha
Going to
Bravo
go down to
Sierra.
140 on speed.
Wind 160 at 7, runway 17 clear to land.
17 cleared to land, so we're coming in 35, but we're cleared on the reciprocal 17. Okay, so there we go. The runway just in there. Can't quite see it. So just waiting for the glide to come in with the RNAV vertical profile. We'll just wait for that diamond to come in, then we'll go gear down, full flap, and we'll slow right down to 123. So let's get taxi light on. I know you don't do that really until later, but we're single pilot in the simulator. We're allowed. Right then, so the glide comes in just a mile or two. There we go. There's not an ILS, it's an RNAV. I'm going to dial in 1000. We shouldn't need to do that, but it might not descend because I'll go around as 2000 here, but it might not descend if I've got 2000 dialed in. Once we've captured, I can dial in 2000, and we're still descending. So gear can come down, and we can go 123 on the speed. 123 set and checked. Flap full. Okay. Let's have a quick look outside. There we go. Nice big flaps on these. Really capable jet. I really like it. Really like it. Fly it more often. Okay, so there's the runway. At 1000, I'm going to brake to the right. We've got the QNH set. That's 3.5. That's where I used to live, just in there. And that's why I used to watch all the jets flying in and out, and all the training aircraft. Lovely. Okay, so 1000 we've got. Autopilot is off, braking to the right. I'm going to maintain 1000 or thereabouts. Auto throttle's coming off, and I'm just going to keep that speed. No, we don't too slow, thank you very much. So there's the runway down there. So I broke off a little bit late and I've lost a couple of 100 feet, but I think that's all right. I'm not going to pretend that it's the right or correct procedure. I'm just doing my best. So, oops, we're too slow. Let's give it a bit more welly. Didn't realise the flaps are quite so draggy. Remember, this is about the second or third time I've flown this. So, do my best. I'm trying to keep 123 on the speed and 112 on the for the final approach. Yeah, so it needs quite a bit of oomph, doesn't it? So we're 900 feet. So that's 1,000. That's what we want, pretty much. There's the end of the runway in there. We don't want to climb. Thank you very much, as we're doing now. Yeah. So there we go. I'll do my best. Can't say fairer than that. It's quite bouncy as well here over the hills. So I switched the auto throttle off. I'd rather fly it, you know, hands on. It's very draggy though, I have to say, with gear and full flap. Right, so we are now well past the runway, so we're going to turn base leg, and so we don't want to climb. We definitely don't want to climb. We're just going to come round. Roll out here. There's the runway down there. Okay. I'm ready to turn base. Okay. Sorry, base, we're on fine. We're on base, I'm not turn finals, so my apologies. So there we go. I keep that speed on 123. There we go, there's the runway. So fully configured, gear is down, flaps are full, speed is a bit high, and we want to slow down to about
approaching 17.
We want to come down to about 112 over the numbers. So we're at 120 at the moment, 2 whites, 2 reds, so we're on the glide. Oops, 116, so we're not too... Right, control speed with pitch. Whoa, 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 sink, 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 sink. That's a lot of sink there.
Too low, terrain.
I know we're too low. I know we are. Stop it. Don't tell me, I know we are.
Too low, terrain.
There we go. So,
Terrain 100. Too low, terrain.
and over the numbers. Down to idle. Hold off. Hold off. Hold off. Hold off. Hold off.
Caution, short runway, 9.
Okay, so we've got
remaining.
spoilers. There we go. Auto brake, reverse thrust, and
100 remaining.
there we go. We'll take the exit here.
Exit next available taxiway. Exit next available taxiway. Golf Foxtrot
Back
Alpha
onto
Bravo
the
Sierra.
tiller. Come to stop the other side of the hold. Come to stop here. Okay. And clean up so flaps can come up. Spoilers can come in. We'll get the APU started.
Ground 121.805.
Get
Golf
the
Foxtrot Alpha
strobes
Bravo
presumably
Sierra.
automatic.
Bye-bye.
Taxi light can stay on, and we can just taxi to the... Okay, so I actually really enjoyed that flight in this aircraft. We're just going to come to a stop, switch our engines off, and then off to the cinema. So, come to a stop. This is Payware scenery. As I said, I lived in this neck of the woods for many years, so I like to have Payware for all the airports I used to go to. We'll just have a look here. I'll go to that parking there. So parking brake can come on, APU's running, we'll just shut the engines, open these and press stop, open that, press stop, switch the landing light on, let them out of their seats, and we are good because the APU generator is on. So that's it. So, as they say, welcome to the south of France. And that is the Longitude parked at Cannes Mandelieu Lima Fox Mike Delta. Okay, I hope you enjoyed that. I certainly did. Very capable airplane, and I'll be flying it again, I think. Alright, take care, or bye now. See you on the next one.